It looks like the Golden State Warriors are cooking up a secret plan. It's halfway through the season, and they've been making some sneaky moves behind the scenes in an effort to come out on top of the Western Conference and win another title this year. But will this cunning plan actually work? Do they really have what it takes to repeat this season? Well, let's start by breaking down the current state of the team compared to last season. And make sure you stick around until the end of the video, where we'll uncover this crafty plan that the Warriors have been putting together and see if these new moves will give them a realistic shot to defend their title this year. The Golden State Warriors are full of surprises. It seems like this franchise has a knack for rallying themselves, despite the fact that there's always a band of naysayers who desperately want to see them lose. Their past success has been rewarded by a continuous flow of skeptical remarks every season. The Warriors are finished. They can't move forward. Steph can't carry a team. There's no way they'll even make it to another finals, much less win another chip. But whether you like it or not, there's no question that with 4 championships in 8 years, the Warriors have become one of the marquee franchises in the NBA, while continuing to make a goofy meme out of the haters. They're obviously used to being underestimated at this point. Many people thought that the Warriors would fall to the Boston Celtics in last year's finals. But once again, Steph Curry and the Warriors made the detractors eat their words. And if you remember the parade celebration after last year's finals, you know the Warriors didn't hold back from rubbing their 4th finals victory in the face of their haters. Now, obviously, we've all come to expect this kind of energy from Draymond Green. He even gave everyone a fair warning when he was quoted saying, "Don't let us win another championship this year, because you'll have to hear it from me." So, no surprise there. But the level of pettiness shown by Steph Curry during the parade was unlike anything we've seen from him before. He made NBA history by being the only player to ever bring all of his previous trophies to an NBA Finals victory parade. He even took the pettiness to another level by sporting his championship rings around his neck. Many people were turned off by this overconfident version of Steph last season. What seemed to bother people the most was that Steph was doing all of that trash talking despite having had the worst shooting percentage of his career last year. It was the first time he shot under 40% from 3. However, in spite of that, they still won the title, once again proving to everyone that this is one special team. And Steph Curry is, without a doubt, the GOAT when it comes to shooting the basketball. This guy is able to pull off moves on the court that used to only be possible in a video game. But will the Warriors be able to put it all together this year and win with the pieces they've assembled around him? Some are saying that they only beat the Celtics in the finals last year because the Celtics showed up flawed and fraudulent. However, you gotta remember, last year was their first title since the departure of Kevin Durant, which is why many are saying that KD needed the Warriors more than the Warriors needed KD. They proved once again that they're a serious contender for the finals with their core pieces, and without the help of another major superstar in the league. The Warriors started last season with a playoff drought. They hadn't clinched a playoff berth since the 2018-19 season, and were hell-bent on proving that their reign over the league was not yet over. A plague of injuries halted the momentum they'd built after their finals appearance in 2019. Several of the key players were sidelined, including Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry. But despite all of the doubt, the Warriors were finally able to end the drought and finish the regular season in 3rd place in the Western Conference. And not only ended up winning the finals, but also made NBA history by winning the Western Conference championship for the 6th time in 8 years. And the insane part about it is, the last team to do that was the 90s Chicago Bulls. And what's even crazier, the Warriors are tied with the 1959 Boston Celtics for the longest playoff winning streak in NBA history against their conference opponents. So you would think they would at least have a shot at making the playoffs this season. Many people were surprised that the Warriors weren't represented in this year's All-Star weekend. However, Steve Kerr hinted that this may actually be a blessing in disguise for the squad right now. He said that his guys are used to playing a game every other night, so having an entire week off seems to be giving the Warriors much-needed rest and recovery time before the final push to the playoffs, and hopefully a title shot. But what about all of those sports analysts who ever so boldly predicted that we would never see Steph and the Warriors in another finals again? What are they saying now? Well, believe it or not, they're doubting the Warriors yet again. But the Warriors have a top-secret plan to put the criticism to bed once again. They appear to have mastered the art of bouncing back after setbacks. They have an innate talent for overcoming adversity, a knack for turning minor setbacks into major comebacks. And one of their main obstacles this year is on the defensive end, which is why it appears they're putting a crafty plan together for the final push into the playoffs. And a key part of that plan is the controversial acquisition of Gary Payton II from the Portland Trail Blazers. The Warriors literally picked him up minutes before the trade deadline. Payton was quoted saying that he was shocked and blindsided after being notified of the trade 10 minutes before the deadline, but is excited to return to his home in the Bay after being a key piece of last year's championship run. And as we've seen time and time again in the NBA, a change of scenery can do a lot for a guy, especially when that change of scenery lands you back at home around your friends and family. And despite a failed physical and a couple of hiccups during the process of the trade deal, Gary Payton is a member of the Warriors and is expected to be the critical defensive presence the Warriors need if they hope to defend their title this year. This is a huge move for the Warriors, as one of the biggest differences between last year's Warriors versus this season is a lack of tenacity and intensity on defense. And as Draymond Green said himself, defense is all about will, and you just have to be willing to get down, get dirty, and get after it if you want to win. Andrew Wiggins, a key piece of the Warriors' defensive scheme, said he felt like he was finally finding his rhythm after struggling since his adductor injury earlier in the season. If Wiggins continues to recover and finds his defensive consistency, then he, Gary Payton, Draymond, and Klay Thompson can form an impenetrable machine capable of defending the Warriors' title this season. But the only way this will happen is if the team can stay healthy. Steph Curry was reevaluated for his left leg sprain and reportedly has no predictable healing timeline since the injury he suffered is rare to see in athletes. So he could be back at any point in time and ready to make it rain with Klay in a desperate push to clinch a spot in the playoffs. But in Steph Curry's absence, Jordan Poole has stepped up and has been balling out this season for the Warriors. He's proven that he's capable of taking over the scoring load on a nightly basis and will show up in big moments. He's averaging over 20 points on the season and shows no signs of slowing down once the regular starters return to the rotation. It's a pool party! Another under-the-radar, top-secret weapon has been Dante DiVincenzo. Not only has he been a consistent contributor on the offensive end, but he's also a skilled and hungry defender and can guard both backcourt positions effectively. DiVincenzo stated that the Warriors' playing style has helped him regain his confidence, which has enabled him to just play loose and hard without worrying about things out of his control. So this covert plan that the Warriors are putting together seems like it has the potential to elevate them to the level of competitiveness they displayed last season, as long as everyone can recover and stay healthy for the rest of the year. And fortunately for the Warriors, the game schedule is also working in their favor this year. The majority of their remaining games this season are against their fellow Western Conference teams. This gives the Warriors an opportunity to establish a stronger position within the Western Conference and have a more solid strategy going into the playoffs. At the end of the day though, whether you love them, hate them, or love to hate them, there's no debating that the Golden State Warriors are already one of the greatest franchises in NBA history and have assembled a winning culture over the last several seasons. And yet again, they're putting a crafty plan together, which just may leave the Warriors haters with their feet in their mouths at the end of the season. But will they stay healthy and competitive enough to defend their title this year? And will Steph Curry ever stop throwing his mouthpiece around? Don't hold your breath for that one.